Sherri Shepherd claiming that the reason she is criticizing Megan Thee Stallion is because to whom much is given, much is required, and Megan Thee Stallion should be a better mentor. She is a mentor, and Sherri has the right to say this shit to Megan because she wants to be a mentor to women. Sherri, I'm insulted that you think we're fucking dumb. You're saying this shit to Megan Thee Stallion because you're a bitter, older woman who feels as if she is past her prime and is jealous of those younger women who are living it up and doing things that you think you can't do because you are under the restriction, under the religious psychosis of a patriarchal religion. For the longest time, I used to think that Christians were just super judgmental and they thought they were better than everybody else. That's why they acted the way they do. No, it's not that. It's envy. It's envy. All of us other hoes and bitches out here get to live our best lives. We wear whatever we want. We are free to do whatever we want, to watch what we want on TV, to speak as we want. We are living our best lives. We are free, and they're looking at us and they feel restricted. They feel trapped. They feel controlled. But because it's God, they can't question it. So they look at us and they hate us because they ain't us. Every woman that I have known of in my lifetime who has looked their nose down on me, when I've heard stories about their past life and how they live their current life, it was always some variation of, at some point in their life they made a huge mistake and then they found God and now they live a life that is boring, and I would never want to trade places with them ever. And that moment in their past life when they made a really, really big mistake, they didn't need church, maybe community, yeah, but they didn't need church. I know that's going to be hard for you Christians to hear. They needed therapy. Therapy. They needed therapy and to be removed from their environment so that they could heal properly. They needed to become people who grew up and disowned the fuck out of toxic family members and so-called friends. Instead of running into the arms of one of the most patriarchal religions possible on earth, they needed to pull away and discover who they were in their own confidence and in their own sexuality. I was shopping at the store with my kids today, and these two gorgeous young people walked up to us and they're like, hey, we're walking around, we're just telling everybody about Christ. How is you all's relationship with Christ? And I'm like, oh, I'm Jewish, but my son, he's Christian. And well, side note, she's like, oh, I've never met a Jewish person before. This is really cool. Giggle, giggle, giggle. But anyway, we veered off and just had a totally different conversation because the young man that was there is pretty much the same age as my son. And they were telling us that they were from, the young lady was from Ghana, and I forgot where the young man is from, but they seemed so nice. And there was a moment when she started talking about her experience with the church and how she got here, and being in the church has kept her off the streets. And there was a moment where I just felt really bad for her. Not that she should be out committing crimes or, torturing people or anything, but at her age, she should be having fun, making those little fun, little innocent mistakes that we do when we're growing up, experiencing new things. Yes, partying, somewhere safe, but instead she's given up her whole life to what? To do what? To not live it. And Christians disguise it as giving up our lives so that Christ can live through. No, you're in a cult. I do not want to be a part of any religion where I cannot have a good time. I do not want to be a part of any religion where I have to look down on other people in order to make myself feel better about my life choices. My drabby ass, boring, mundane life choices. And also, these patriarchal religions, and before you criticize me, I'm Jewish, but it is very much matriarchal and God has no gender. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. So many women are pick-me's in these patriarchal ass religions. because the leader is a man. And you have to live your life in a way that's going to please that man. And one of the biggest ways that you can please that man in a patriarchal society where we value purity and virginity is to prove to that man just how pure and innocent you are. You're not twerking. You're not out here showing ass and titties. You're not out here drinking and having sex. You're in the house at 5 p.m. on a Friday night with your bonnet on, snuggled up in bed, watching episode after episode of Praise the Lord. And you're 20 years old. And that is what breeds women who grow up to be like Sherri Shepherd. You really feel like you've been robbed of your youth. You feel like you've been robbed of all the fun that you could be having, and you've been told that having fun is bad. And even those of you who think that you're a cool Christian because you're not a pick-me like Sherri Shepherd, you're still taking part in a religion that believes God is a man. A man is a leader over you. You're still a part of the religion that believes that a husband is over his wife. And don't give me the bullshit about it's protection and it's this. No. Because I question any woman's psychological, mental well-being who needs a man to be the leader in her life. And I question any man who wants to be leader over a woman. We're supposed to be partners together, okay, on an even playing field. And to be quite honest, since we're talking about leaders, from my experience over the years, from what I've seen and witnessed, couples where the woman tends to be more so the leader, those tend to be the happiest, most successful couples. And I'm not talking about leader in terms of paying all the bills and doing everything. I'm talking about leader in charge of, making major decisions for the family, that sort of thing. A lot of you believe that your religion is setting you free, and it's just further trapping you. And it's causing you to be judgmental, and it's causing you to be angry, and it's causing you to be bitter, and it's causing you to be insufferable to be around. A lot of you don't need church. You need therapy. But until you realize that, you're going to continue on this miserable, sad sack path. Also, Megan Thee Stallion owes nobody anything. Okay? She didn't sign on to be a role model. If you don't want your kids to watch her videos, don't let them watch her videos. And if they have access to her videos, that is your fault. All these parents talking about what Megan Thee Stallion is doing or what this person is doing or what that person is doing, you're the parent. You are the parent. Why are you letting your kids watch this stuff? Why are you letting your kids listen to this stuff if it's such a problem? Get a grip. Leave her alone. I think that Megan Thee Stallion is more of a role model than fucking Sherri Shepherd. I would want my daughter to be like Megan Thee Stallion before I would want my daughter to be like Sherri Shepherd. Plus, Megan Thee Stallion has a college fucking degree. She's a very successful, charismatic businesswoman. Who wouldn't want their child to be like her? Somebody ignorant like Sherri Shepherd? Anyway, it's time for me to go to bed. I gotta brush my teeth.